little hiccups on the way, but um, if the microphone doesn't work out for this particular episode, then I'm gonna have to switch up my mic. I'm having mic issues. My mic's been coming in hot whenever I record these, and I don't. As a person that's auditory, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But got my grandma with me today. Want to just wear her today. Okay, today's gonna be a good day. We're gonna start on astrology in your creative realm. Okay. And let's see what we got to cover before we start here today. You know what I want to do before we even start is take a selfie of the setup. Take some selfies, y'all. I do that because I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting. Okay. And yeah. One of the things I want to cover is make sure you guys go stream projects that I dropped last month during Harmony workshops. We dropped Kasana Con Hefa on March 10th. We dropped Qualia on March 23rd. That was my birthday. And we dropped Please Help Yourself on March 25th. So I want to just give you guys like, a little reminder. Don't forget to be streaming the music out there. And also, I want to let you guys know, if you didn't catch it yet, Tropic of Qualia website is officially up. It is not safe for work. It is 18 plus. The 18 plus mature content is up for purchase. I will be putting my animes, all of my AI art on this platform. That doesn't mean I'm not going to put it on other platforms, but it's officially going to be like on that platform. That's where I'm going to be selling the predominant amount of those products. Um, Also, my official website is completely updated, and I am going to be releasing products there. I started with a candle that's up there. I just want to like test the waters a little bit, and then eventually I'm going to be posting about 58 products all together. So it's going to be like a gradual thing. That's where I post my lyrics, that's where I post the workshops, the replays, and everything like that. So make sure you go to my official website. And also, Panacea Cafe blog is up and running. It's been up and running, but it's updated in the last few months. So it's not the same Panacea Cafe that you once knew before. Okay, so let's get started on this here. Okay, share this. Oh, that's so cool. It has a little thing on here showing that I could do a layout. Let's see which layout we want to work with today. Okay. Optimize for video clip. What does that mean? Okay. So that's a new option, some layouts and stuff like that. That's cool. Zoom has like layouts that you can like pick from. Let's see. Do we like this? Do we like this? No, let's do the whole thing. Okay, so this is astrology in your creative realm. And I used to be an astrologer. I've done so many different practices, and all my practices I've learned to like incorporate with my practices that I have now today. And I realized, okay, astrology is something that people should just learn. Like we should teach this in schools. It should be readily available. So it felt, and this doesn't has no plight to any astrologers or anything like that out there, but it was literally the idea of um, needing to teach people something that is like should be so basic in their lives and then feeling terrible about monetizing it. That was me in my own personal spirit. It didn't feel right to me. And that goes with so many other things in my craft that I've built on, and I've sat with in order to become an educator of, rather than a person that is selling it and monetizing it, selling you guys readings when I should really be teaching you. Sorry for my hunger. It always acts up whenever I start these things. I get hungry. But in rather than teaching you, I'm selling you something, and then you keep needing me and keep depending on me. And I want to give you the tools that you don't need me. You know what I mean? I was, I'm just like that. Jabril has even said to me, he's like, uh, you're like Siri, you take me there, you give me the answers, but you don't do it for me. You lead me to do it myself, which is the most important thing, because if you learn how to do it yourself, um, nobody else can hold it over your head. You learn how much easier it is than what it actually is. It is, these things aren't as difficult. People make it seem difficult because they don't want you to know these things, and it's as basic as reading. Okay. And learning how to read astrology, learning how to read etymology, language, anthropology, all these other things that are kind of seem like that we're not allowed to do, and it's some kind of like occult teaching that we're not supposed to know, it's secret to us. Well, I'm here to tell you, astrology in the eighth house, the house of the occult, that's where my sun is, that's where my Mercury is. Both of those things are in Aries. Okay, I'm meant to lead, I'm meant to teach, I'm meant to expose it. Okay, I'm meant to show you the unseen. Okay, so I got some AI images going on. This AI image that's in the cover here is a very old AI image, but I want to add it to as the cover because it's just for that prompt it says Memphis baddie, so she's a Memphis baddie. Okay, so contents. Why Fifth House of Creativity Inc. I keep telling you guys there's a reason why we named the record label. Well, I named the record label. I can step away from saying we for a second because this is an I thing. Um, named the record label Fifth House of Creativity Inc. Okay, there's a sacred reason why that happened. And yeah, I just mentioned, I have eighth house placements that are very powerful, but I have my stellium, which is three or more planets. I'm so sorry, my hunger. Three or more planets. You know what you do when you're hungry and you don't have food yet? You know. Mhm. Such a mom. That's such a mom thing. Drink some water. I mom myself. Okay, so a stellium is three or more planets in a house or in a sign. And my stellium is in Capricorn and is also in the fifth house. Okay. So we're going to get into what the fifth house is, what all that represents, and everything like that. Okay. So understanding astrology basics, and creative placements. So I'm not just going to talk about my chart and stuff, which we're going to go over. I'm going to be going over my chart to show you how simple it is to read your chart, right? But I'm going to also talk about other creative placements that you guys might have in your charts, right? And then we'll talk about what we're going to be doing next time. Okay, some more AI images. Naming my record label Fifth House of Creativity Inc. feels like aligning my business with the stars. It reflects the dynamic energy of my natal fifth house, the heart of creative life force within me. This name is my vow to nurture and manifest creativity, not just within myself, but within every artist and project that comes under this label. It embodies a blend of visionary Neptune, innovative Uranus, determined Saturn, and the destiny driven North Node in my fifth house, promising a fusion of imagination, uniqueness, and structure, destined to make a profound impact on the world of creativity. Okay. Alrighty. So, like I said, these are the things that are in my fifth house of creativity. Okay. Let me pause this for a second so you can take a good look at this. I'm going to pull back and do it like that. Okay. Alrighty. So with Neptune, Uranus, North Node, and Saturn in your fifth house, okay? And this is me putting this into the AI. what I wrote before, that was me writing it. This here is me putting that information into the AI. As you guys know, from my AI prompting and also from my social media copywriting, what we do is we create our copy, we write, and then we input it into AI to bounce it back. And what's really great about utilizing the AI is you can literally begin to start doing astrology readings for people. The AI is really good with it. You just have to really make sure that it's getting the placements correctly when it's doing these readings. And you can also get daily readings yourself through implementing the AI in the same way that I do. Um, I created my own GPT on Chat GPT called Harmony GPT, and maybe think maybe letting people have access to it because it seems to be a lot more better than the regular Chat GPT. So Neptune brings a boundless imagination and an intuitive connection with the arts. It can bestow a visionary quality to your creative projects, linking them to universal themes and inspirations. Uranus introduces an element of originality, encouraging innovative approaches to music and the arts. It signifies potential to revolutionize creative fields and introduce new avant garde ideas. North Node indicates a karmic pull towards developing your own creative talents and possibly being in the spotlight. It's about stepping into your power as a creator and potentially leading others in a realm of creativity. Okay. Saturn adds a serious note, suggesting a disciplined approach to honing your craft and possibly dealing with the business side of creativity. It can lead to a long term and sustainable manifestation of creative endeavors. So, taking that back, so this is in my GPT, Harmony GPT on the GPT talking to me. And one of the really, really cool things about this is so as you can see, Saturn is in my fifth house. Some people would think that this isn't like kind of like a harsh placement. It makes a person kind of like not have fun. But with all these other planets, Neptune, the dreamy Neptune, the planet of the fog, though. So I had confusion in my early life, and I was almost like protected, like in a fog for a very long time, where my creativity was protected. And if you do know my story, like of surviving ritualistic abuse and everything like that, then you would understand why I had to protect my music and my gifts the way that I did. And Uranus, the planet of rebellion, technology, originality, like that being added to it gives another influence. And then we have my North Node. This is my destiny, like it is in Capricorn as well. So this is a very, very karmic pull of pulling away from my Cancer, my Cancerian 11th house South Node, which would represent that as my karmic past, right? My karmic past, I'm pulling away from being immersed in the community where and this took a lot for me to like have to accept this because I love, 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 love community. And it seemed harsh to me when I was seeing my placements. I'm like, why am I having such issues with community where I wasn't feeling safe, or where I wasn't completely feeling honored, and where some places I was feeling completely safe and honored. And I didn't understand those contrasts. But then what I really understood and what I learned was that my North Node is pulling me away to lead, Cancer, nurturing, caring in that 11th house. I nurtured, I cared for community in my past lives. I could have been like, coddled by the community in past lives, whatever it was, my decisions weren't made alone. And now in this life, they have to be made alone, and they have to be done in a very cardinal way, a very Capricornic energy, so there's a lot that comes with it, and a lot of acceptance that I've had to delve into when it comes down to my creativity and understanding like what my fifth house represents for me, and in your natal chart, you might not have any planets in your fifth house. And then you might be like, oh my God, it says that I don't have any planets in the creative house. And then you might get upset about that. And that's not true. There's many other creative placements within astrology that we got planets, we got aspects, we got signs, we got so many things. You name it, you name it, right? We have all these things. So don't look at my chart and be like, oh, well, she has all this in her chart, and That's not what this is about. What it is I want you to start looking at your chart the same way that I'm looking at my chart. Having this conversation of understanding this is part of your creation story, right? We're going to be getting into ancestry and creation stories next month, right? Sorry, I had to, there's noises going on. But yeah, so we're going to be getting into like the creation story next month. But this is, remember, I told you all these workshops help you build you to the next workshop, to the next step, to the next level, and getting to know your astrology, your astrological DNA is part of knowing your creation story. And then when we get into that, then we're going to be getting into doing ancestry as well next month, right? So astrology, then ancestry. Interesting enough, right? So here's another picture of AI. I really like her nails. Let's check out her nails. Okay, sorry about that. I was on mute. Everybody on mute. Okay, so your first house is your ascendant, and this is your forward facing. This is what the world sees. This is not who you are, but what the world perceives you are. Unless you are literally like your sun or like a planet like Pluto is in this first house, seldom do you have very much to do with your first house other than the fact that it's how you're perceived. And then it also kind of dictates how the chart works out for you as well. So for myself, I'm a Virgo rising. So I'm very meticulous. People think I'm a Virgo, big Virgo energy, right? And yeah, like people be thinking I'm a Virgo and I'm an Aries. Sorry to burst your bubble, but yeah, I do go on like a Virgo at least, and I really relate heavily with everything in the chart having to do with Virgo. Okay, there we go. And so then your second house is your values, possession, personal finances, and self-worth. Third house is the house of communication, siblings, short trips, and early education. Fourth house is family, home life, your roots, and the end of matters. Mhm. Okay, fifth house, romance, creativity, children, and pleasure. Sixth house, daily routines, health, and services to others. Seventh house is your descendant partnerships, marriage, and business relationships. So, like, think lawyers, think contracts, things like that go in that. Eighth house, shared resources, again, contracts. Seventh house has different contracts. Eighth house has different contracts, right? Transformation, death, and rebirth. Ninth house, higher education, philosophy, long distance travel, and spirituality. See how earlier we said in third house, it's short trips, right? So ninth house is long distance traveling. 10th house is your midheaven. Your fourth house is your call immune coli or IC, and then your 10th house is MC or midheaven, and that is your career, your public life, your reputation, and achievements. So 10th house, oh, I gotta fix that. Hold on. You know me, my OCD. If I don't fix it now, I won't get a chance to fix it here. So I'm gonna just take that bold off. This is how much we really do what we really do. But you guys know me and my OCD. And also the fact is that this presentation is going to be available on YouTube in the link below. So no, thanks. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I want to make sure that this is ready as soon as you're ready. So 11th house, friendships, group activities, hopes and wishes. 12th house, the subconscious mind, the subconscious collective mind as well, and secrets, karma, and institutions. So when I say subconscious collective mind, we all have a collective mind that conjoins together on the subconscious level. And I'm coming to understand, even when people pass out of this realm, then they rejoin that subconscious collective, and that is how we gain those people's knowledge and the secrets that they have. Yeah, pretty interesting stuff. So that's why we find the bodies. That's why we find the bodies after people pass on, right? People, but after people pass on, that's why we're able to find out people's secrets, and things come out after people pass on, not just because on the physical realm we're getting to know people, but because things on the subconscious, collective, conscious mind uh, becomes joined together, and we rejoin that. To align with upcoming transits, one would monitor transit charts in relation to their natal chart to anticipate periods of heightened creativity or potential challenges. For example, transiting Jupiter aspecting natal Neptune could indicate an upcoming period of expansive and inspired creativity, ideal for launching a multimedia project. Transits through the fifth house can be particularly potent times for such initiatives. Observing these transits can guide you to leverage optimal times for creation, presentation, and collaboration. We've spoken about it before that I am a reflector, that my moon is in Cancer. So there are certain astral dates where I release. Like I did the new moon, the full moon. I do lots of new moons and lots of full moons, lots of benefic dates. And I wouldn't suggest that for everybody else because you might not be a Cancer moon, you might not be a reflector, but as a reflector, I am dedicated to the lunar cycle. And being dedicated to the lunar cycle is not something that I have any choice in the matter. That is just how my life works. And I found that my life works a lot easier when I go with the flow of that lunar cycle instead of trying to work against it, because I am a bit of a rare human being by being a lunar being, a reflector. Literally 1% of the population has this, human design. Please look it up. And it affects me deeply if I don't work within the flow of things, of astrological placements. So in astrology, aspects between planets define their relationships and the dynamics. I'm going to stop this right here for a second, my video. Okay. And the dynamics they create in a natal chart. Here are some of the major aspects. So a conjunction, a sextile, square, trine, opposition, semisextile, okay, we're just going to call it inconjunct because I don't want to, because feeling a little conte, semi-square, and says quadrate, quadrate. You know what? I watch the astrology podcasts. I see them say these words with such ease, and one day I will say those words with such ease, but I say nothing with ease, and people don't know how much I struggle to say things. If you've been watching these replays, you do know. There's certain times I have to cut things out, and I'm like, bitch, that's not the word. Um, or that's not how you say that, or why did you say that word like that? That word does not have a G. Anyways, okay, so how aspects deal with creativity? No pun intended. Okay. Conjunction. So in a conjunction, intensity in the combined energies can be harmonious or challenging based on the planets involved. Sextile is beneficial and cooperative energy, fostering talents and opportunities. A square indicates tension, conflict, requiring action and resolution, often driving growth. So don't look at square and be like, oh no, like a square. It natally means growth and it transit means growth. It's a difficult phase, but always remember challenges. Okay, square creates tension that can drive actions to overcome challenges. Okay, that is creating momentum in you and it's transmutation. Okay, transmutation happens through action. Okay, trying harmonious flow of energy, enhancing natural talents, and ease in exploiting opportunities, opposition. So reflects balance and or struggle between opposing forces, leading to awareness and potential compromise. These aspects can significantly impact creativity depending on the planets involved and the houses they occupy. So going back to this, I didn't read this because like I said, like this presentation, you're going to be able to find this in the YouTube below, caption below. Okay, some more complex aspects include patterns like the grand trine. So I have a grand trine in my chart. involves three trine aspects forming an equilateral. Equilateral. Sweetheart, get this together. Okay. Equilateral triangle signifying talent and ease. Grand cross involves four squares, creating two oppositions, indicating complex by dynamic motivation. T square involves two planets in opposition in both square to a third, a drive to resolve tension, and a yod is involves two sextile planets. So they call this the finger of God. Okay. And both in a quinsunx to a third, suggesting a fated or special task for someone interested in multimedia. These aspects can highlight periods when your communicative abilities, like Mercury aspects, creative expression, such as Venus or Neptune aspects, and drive, like Mars aspects, and heightened or challenged, which you can use to plan or execute projects. So there is a few more major aspects like this, but I'm not going to give them all today. I have different ones as well, like kites, things like that. There's a bunch of different ones. And we'll go over them eventually. We have a few more workshops to go over these things, but these are overall the basics. Um, this matters to me because I have empty houses. So I understand how people feel when they say, I have an empty house. Like, does that mean that that's never going to happen for me in life? And I'm like, no, sweetie, it will. Okay. And I also have retrograde planets. So, and uh, some astrologers can be so negative when it comes down to empty houses and when it comes down to retrograde. And you look, you are manifesting things when you are evoking in astrology. So you do not have to be negative. It really, really, really rubs me the wrong way when people don't do that. But when people speak so negatively in astrology, we can be very abundant oriented. Yes, there are challenges, but it's not the end all and be all, right? Okay, so empty houses in a natal chart are houses without any natal planets residing in them. This doesn't mean the areas of life represented by those houses are unimportant, okay, or will be neglected. They might simply not be the main focus of the individual's growth and challenges. The sign of the cusp of the empty house and its ruling planets placements still influence how you might experience that house's themes. So retrograde planets in a natal chart symbolize a need for introspection. The areas governed by the planet retrogrades can indicate the typical expression of the planet's energies is turned inward or needs to be revisited or reworked in some way. It often points to a more internalized or reflective experience of the planets and attributes and can sometimes delay the outward manifestation of the planet's influence until later in life. Okay. So more AI pictures to hold you off. And here's my chart. And I heard somebody like say this like a few weeks ago on YouTube, and they said like in order for us to start trusting the people that we call celebrities or celebrated peoples, um, or people that are in a position of power, we should be able to look at their birth chart. Okay. Um, some people are just like, oh, well, if a person looks at your birth chart, they can access this, they can do this to you, they can do that. Nobody can do nothing to me. Okay. Does not work like that. Okay. Man, I'll reflect her things. Okay. Reflect it back. But yeah, it doesn't work like that. Um, carry yourself with more power than that. But yeah, carry yourself with a little bit more power than that. It's really really crazy like how fearful people are. Like I've had someone like a psychic, I'm still good friends with her, but she was just like, shut, cover every mirror in your home and everything, people can get through to you through that. And I say I rebuke that. I rebuke that completely. Okay. I rebuke it. I rebuke it. Alrighty. But moving along. So, as you can see, this is my birth chart. I'm very, very happy and confident to show you this because check it out. I love it. I am who I am. Um, it's so funny. In my song, meantime, I'm like, I'm a gangster bitch. I always been that bitch. They can expose every part of me. Okay. Alrighty. So my sun is in Aries, of course, as you can see. All right. So what I want to show you is I got a bunch of empty houses. I got a lot of empty houses. My first house is empty. So it may be in Virgo, right? But there is no like real planets of influence and stuff like that. So I don't really have any challenges when it comes down to the first house. That's just what that means, right? Take what you want from that. I don't know what that means for me. The second house, okay, that is my resources and stuff, and it's just really not a focus for me in life. I'm gonna be really, really honest with you. Um, I think because as you can see, my eighth house of shared resources, that is my like identity. Like, of course, I always have what's mine. That doesn't mean I don't have my own possessions, my own things. But what that means is it's not a direct focus in my life. So third house, house of communication, all that stuff, siblings and stuff like that. So Pluto is your power and your destruction. Okay. Again, if you know me personally, that explains a lot. Okay. Right. So, and then we have fourth house. That's your home, your family. Again, no planets there, but I do have particular stars, particular things that do go in there, like fixed stars. And we'll go on to fixed stars in a few workshops coming up, but no focus on it today. It's a lot to consume. So we want to take it stride by stride. And then as you can see here, like I said, I have my stellium in the fifth house. Okay. And I don't do astrology by whole houses. A lot of people do astrology by whole houses. There's a lot of astrologers do. I was born on the cusp. Okay. So you can see here, I am literally born on a cusp. Okay. I'm born March 23rd. I do not relate to being a full Aries, and I would not relate to being a Pisces. And my chart quite literally feels within my life and who I am as a person and what resonates with me. And this is what's so important is go with what resonates with you when you're doing astrology. Feel out what resonates with you. You might not even resonate with this. You might like whole houses and whole signs and all that kind of stuff. Fine, but go with what resonates with you. Me personally, it did not resonate with me to do whole houses because I was so much on the cusp. I literally feel like half and half. I do feel like an Aries and a Pisces. Okay. And what's funny about that is I feel like half of every other sign in my chart, I feel like half of every other influence when it comes down to, yeah, I have Saturn and Aquarius, right? But I also, if I did whole houses, then my Saturn would be in my sixth house, which doesn't relate to me. It doesn't relate to me at all. Doesn't relate to me. So what relates to me though is Saturn in my fifth house. It relates a lot to me, right? So again, and if I went and did it like this, then my Jupiter would be in my 12th house, which does not relate to me. Just doesn't relate to me. It relates to me in my 11th house, right? And I'm just speaking on personal experience, right? So we have sixth house, daily routine, empty again, just not a focus for me. So that's why I was just like, you know, I am obsessive. I'm obsessive. I'm gonna be real. I'm obsessive. So like I'm so OCD, the sixth house does not mean anything to me. Seventh house, again, my descendant is represented by Pisces, right? Which is very interesting because it's like Pisces, Aquarius, where it's at, my seventh house, right? Like, it's kind of like that kind of energy. And it also then leads into like Aries as well, just a little bit. It's just like a little bit between everything. And my partner is like, he's a Pisces Aquarius, but he's also an Aries moon. So it's very interesting, like how our charts align a lot, which is really, really interesting. And to take two people's charts, I do this all the time with not just me and my partner's chart, but me and my friends, me and my kids. And that's just synastry. And synastry does not have to be a romantic leak. And just see, it's to be used to see how it how you work with that person. Millionaires and billionaires do it all the time. Okay. So, and then eighth house, we have my sun in Aries, Mercury, planet of communication, and that is in Aries in the eighth house. And like I said in the beginning, this is why I communicate and am the way I am. But I'm also very because the natural ruler of the eighth house is Scorpio. So I very much have a lot of Scorpio essence. I have a lot of Scorpio energy. People might even think I'm not a Virgo, they think I'm a Scorpio. And the reason why is because of my sun being in that house. So wherever your sun is, right, you're going to pick up that energy, whichever house it's in. And the ruler, the natural ruler of the eighth house is Scorpio. So my natural ruler would be Scorpio, right? And so again, it just gives it where it's more of a mysterious kind of vibe to it. I can be as transparent as possible and people still think I'm being secretive. I don't know why. I don't know why. It's just part of my chart. Okay. And then we go into the ninth house. We have Venus in Taurus. And my Venus in Taurus is it's basically in its home. It's in its place where it needs to be, right? And then we move over to the 10th house, which is your midheaven that we spoke about. And mine is in Gemini, and mine has Mars, the planet of your ambition, your energy, your anger, your drive, like ambition, but um yeah, and mine's in Gemini. So like I do a lot of different careers and it suits me. People used to really get at me for that kind of stuff and I was just like I like doing a lot of things. And like you got to pick one thing and I'm like I can't. Like I cannot pick one thing because I don't enjoy to do just one thing, right? And that was, yeah, because I have Gemini midheaven. Who knew? Leave me alone. Let me live naturally to my astrology, sweetie. And then we have the 11th house, and that's where my moon in Cancer is, my Chiron, and your Chiron is the wounded healer. That is where your past wounds are, like your wounds of this life, your past life wounds, things that you're healing from. And then we have also the 11th house would be the place of my South Node as well. And like I said, South Node in Cancer. So I'm pulling away from that house. But I do have my Jupiter in retrograde. Okay. Remember, Jupiter's a planet of expansion. It's so big, it expands things, it expands whatever it touches, right? And it's almost like a, touch of blessing on it, right? It's very benefic. And mine is in retrograde and it's in the 11th house. So if I were not to read the retrograde part, I would assume that the 11th house is very benefic for me in community, working with people, hopes and wishes, and things like that. But my South Node is there, my Chiron is there, my moon is there, right? And my moon in Cancer as well. And so sitting in that house, there's a lot of things I'm supposed to pull away from. I'm supposed to be more introverted and introspective when it comes down to the placements of where Jupiter is sitting, not expansive on it. So that's why when I said that I had to start to learn to pull away in this life, away from the essence of the 11th house, which is community, hopes and wishes, and things like that, and move into the action oriented position of Capricorn, that's when I was able to create the fifth house of creativity and really become so action oriented because that's what I'm supposed to do in this life, right? So, and then we have 12th house empty, and that again is like, you know, if you're going to jail, hospitals, things like that. Of course, those things happen in my life, but it is not the theme, and it's not something that is my general focus. It's never going to be my general focus. I have so much other things that manifest because of my chart for me to focus on, and my general focus would be on my communication, the occult, travel, education, community. I would be more introspective towards, but that means not necessarily not being part of community, but becoming an example and a leader, a creative leader in community. And then my career with the midheaven would quite literally be several different careers. Okay. Alrighty. And then we have Sun in Aries, eighth house. Okay. That's one we just went over. Moon in Cancer, 11th house. And like I said, these are this is just me going over my chart so you can kind of like get the gist of it. This is going to be in the presentation so you can not have to just listen to me go over what is significant in the chart, but you can actually see what's significant in the chart. Okay, so some more placements of things that were significant in my chart. Okay, all right, smart. All right, in astrology, specific placements in a natal chart can significantly enhance creative potential. Let's turn off my video for a second. Okay, let's hit it back, hit it back, hit it back, hit it back. Okay, all right. The sun in Leo or fifth house indicates strong creative force. Moon in Pisces or 12th house suggests creativity fueled by empathy and intuition. Many artists, big artists that you see in the world that were big back in the day or something happened to them, or like Kurt Cobain, I believe, was a moon in Pisces, if I can remember correctly. But many celebrities and creative people and creative beings that have made amazing music and amazing creations have moon in Pisces or in the 12th house. So Venus in Libra or Taurus, second house or seventh house, enhances your artistic talent. Mercury in Gemini or Virgo, third or sixth house. Mars in Aries or Scorpio, first or eighth house. Jupiter in Sagittarius or Pisces, ninth or 12th house. Saturn in Aquarius or Capricorn, 10th or 11th house. Uranus in Aquarius or 11th house. Neptune in Pisces or 12th house. Pluto in Scorpio or 8th house. Okay. And like I said, you can go over these. I tried to give a few examples of each of them, but you can go into this presentation here to really check that out. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, I feel very confident about that for our first workshop. And so for the next workshop, we're going to be covering Draconian astrology, major transits. Okay, we spoke on some of them, but we also going to touch on the other ones as well. And my Saturn return dissect. I'm 33, guys. That means I'm beyond my Saturn return, which was the beginning of my musical career in 2020. That's when I started my Saturn return. And everything was in alignment for me to start that. And it just made so much sense. I literally started my record label 2019, Fifth House of Creativity Inc. at the beginning before my Saturn return even started, because I knew I was preparing myself for it. I said, I need to be ready for when this comes. And I was so ready. And I'm so fortunate that I had astrology ready for me before my Saturn return came. So it was a successful, very successful Saturn return. I'm proud of myself. And that was literally done because I studied the astrology before. And that's why I want to make these things more readily available before people have these like super jarring astrological experiences that could otherwise be avoided. Okay. So this is just going over our workshops for April, right? We have album covers on Tuesdays, okay? Right, and we have social media copywriting on Wednesdays. We have astrology in your creative realm. That's today, and that will be on all Thursdays of April. Very grateful to every one of you who got replays for this or who will get replays for this and who is watching this on YouTube and just deciding you want to donate, right? Yeah, we have the we have the course workbook is now available on my website. And it just, it will help you go over everything that we went over, but also gives you access to last month's workshops. And it helps you so you can kind of prepare for what we're doing this month. Like I said, they might not seem related, they might not seem like they make sense together, but that's why this is called Harmony Workshop. Okay. All these things work together. A course that integrates art, holistic health, indigenous teachings, architecture, sound healing, empowerment, astrology, human design, writing, ancestry, and AI technology. Okay. I'm so excited. I'm very excited and very grateful. Okay. Very grateful. And yeah. Thank you for watching and coming on out, darling. And Chimikwich, have a beautiful, beautiful day. And I will see you guys next week for album cover designs. And that's a wrap for week 1 of April. And yeah, very, very grateful.